It's the Uprising. This is the Uprising podcast. I'm Pac, and I'm joined by Adam Lumley. What's going on?
Not much, man. Just like our lives, every week is just a constant circle of craziness. And we got some things to talk about, some local things, and just our everyday craziness in politics. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe, comment. Love to hear from you as well. We're trying to get our subscribers up and trying to get our views up. So if you like it, we'll get a better place in the algorithm. So if you want to do that, I really appreciate it. So the topics of this episode is going to be, so we live in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa, Oklahoma is one of the finalists for a Tesla. They're getting a new plant between us and Austin. So we're going to talk about the positives and negatives of them coming to Tulsa, Tesla. I wanted to talk a little bit about Jeff Bezos possibly becoming a trillionaire one day in the near future if his wealth keeps on building like it has. I want to talk about how that's a problem and how certain people just are ridiculously bootlickers when it comes to rich people and how much of an issue that is. And I want to kind of talk about how the left needs to kind of change our tune a little bit when it comes to capitalism, because I don't think we're ready quite yet for full-on socialism. So we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. It's been kind of a bleak week for me, unfortunately. I just feel like we're becoming more and more like Elysium is going to be our future. If you haven't seen that movie, it stars Matt Damon. It's supposedly in the future. It's like our society is just insane. Rich people live on this little weird spaceship and like kind of further out from planet Earth, and Earth is just like a hellhole essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about that. I want to talk about Charles Booker. He is a person running for Senate in Kentucky to replace old turtle man Mitch McConnell. And how we need to focus, the left needs to focus on him and the person running against Nancy Pelosi. If we're going to focus on anyone trying to get them elected, those two gentlemen is, I think, top priority. Of course, some other people as well, but we'll get into that in a second. And I want to briefly talk about the shopping cart theory, and I want to just talk about how our brother's keeper and certain people not really doing their part in our society currently, not wearing masks, not social distancing, and how much of an issue that is. One of the big philosophies I have and I want to bring to this podcast is our society needs to be more of a collective, not an individual like we are right now. So that's kind of the topics we're going to be talking about. But
yeah,
you want to get anything in right quick, Pac?
No, let's get right on it, man.
All right. All right. So Tesla. I think everyone knows who Tesla is. So they're starting a new factory, and they want to know where they want to put a new factory. And Tulsa, Oklahoma is one of those finalists. And I have some positives about that, and I have some negatives as well. The positives. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I've written this down. Right there. Okay, so the positives of Tesla coming here, more jobs, which would be great. We one of the poorer states in the country, and good jobs. And we like I talked about in the Johnson interview, better paying jobs leads to less crime, and we have a big crime issue in this state and our city, Tulsa. So that's a good thing. Brings better jobs. Other thing is clean energy jobs, which that's what Tesla is. We are a big oil state, and if we can get off of that and be more of a pioneer in clean energy, that'd be great. It would help people come here as well. I think more people with different ideas from the consensus here. So more people live in California, more leftists move here because of Tesla. I think that'd be a positive as well. And just if we have a thing like Tesla, I think that will bring other people here as well. Yeah. And that'll develop our community more, bring better jobs, not even just Tesla in general, more entrepreneurs here, and just different-minded individuals, which I think that'd be good. Now, the negatives. What are we going to give them tax breaks wise? Are we going to let them pay no taxes, which probably will be? Are we going to give them massive subsidies to come here? Probably. That we are an extremely poor state, that we really shouldn't be giving subsidies to big corporations. I don't really need them. Right. Don't really like subsidies in general, honestly. Anything, kind of libertarian on that side. But if it's smaller businesses, I definitely support that way more than humongous corporations that don't need it. And the other negative I would think is what crazy things that they're going to do that we're going to allow them to do. Yeah. And that's the bigger issue is they're going to be dumping crazy things into our water or other things along those lines. Now, I know they're a clean energy company, so it might not be as bad as big oil, but those are the issues I have, really. I don't know if we were going to get them. Is this just a leverage against Austin to get a better deal? Who knows? Yeah. So how do you feel, Pac?
Well, as far as the positives, having some jobs here and it being a form of clean energy in Oklahoma, which is a oil state, that is definitely a positive. The negatives separate a lot from the company for me. Like a lot of the negatives is going to be like, are they going to pay taxes and those things? But also look at you got to know who Elon Musk is. You see what I'm saying? And that kind of because this whole the whole reason this is happening, okay, the whole reason that they're trying to find a place is because they're leaving Cali. They want to. Cali's not going to let them operate. You see what I'm saying?
There are actually, but
I mean that's what this whole thing was about. Was him saying that this is not him downplaying the whole coronavirus and all of that. Like he's that guy. You know what I mean? And you can't say that without this because this is him saying, okay, well, you guys don't want us to be open and stuff during a pandemic that I don't think is a real thing. So I'm going to move my businesses to one of these cities. This is kind of like the same thing that happened with Amazon. It's kind of like them having cities kind of bid for who's going to be the winner. You know what I'm saying? And in the end, usually this is the thing. To open a place here, that means people there are going to lose their jobs. So people don't get jobs without other people losing jobs. You see what I'm saying?
And not everyone's going to be able to move to Tulsa or want to move to Tulsa.
Right.
Or Austin.
I think that it can be good, but it could also be bad. It just depends on which way the coin falls because if it brings jobs, then that's good. But what are you going to have to sacrifice for those jobs? You see what I'm saying? Are we going to be giving them subsidies?
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So then, to me, it's not worth it. If it brings other big business and big corporations here, it's not worth it. Not interested in that. I'm interested more in people here being able to start their own businesses and local moms and pops the more corporations come here, the worse off we're going to get. But as long as the rich people are the ones benefiting from it, they're not going to see a problem. So yeah, I'd be glad if we all get electric cars and we don't have to use gas and oil no more. That'd be awesome. So there's definitely positives to it. It's just you kind of gotta weigh out your options. Like, is there more positives or more negatives? You know.
And I mean, we could give subsidies to entrepreneurs that live here for clean energy.
We could have been doing that for years.
Yeah, we just
don't do it.
We don't do it because oil's easier and cheaper, and they lobby for these things, and this is kind of like a vicious cycle, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Tesla's going to be able to even move their headquarters here or anywhere else. The expense for doing that's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that would even incentivize here or Austin, wherever else. They'll give them even massive, even more subsidies. Yeah. And we're going against, in Tulsa in general, we're going against Austin, which is kind of like a bigger mecca of our country.
Right.
And so we're going to have to even give them even more.
Right.
Like double the price that Austin would give.
Would have to, yeah.
So, I mean, I would love for us to have clean jobs here and Tulsa to be more on the map, but everything has a
price
and an outcome of your decisions.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know how I fully feel about it.
Yeah.
Because the positives are really good positives, but the negatives, like Back was saying, just they suck, honestly.
Yeah. It's like, well, you want clean energy jobs, right? Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to play ball like this. It's one of those things where it's like you want it to be give and take, but it's more taken than given, you know. And that's the model of all big businesses. I mean, they're not here to help people, or their only job, their only narrative is to increase profits and save money. You know what I mean? So we'll see where it goes. You know, I mean, I'm definitely going to follow it and see what's going on, and as it uncovers. I don't know how Austin does on auto sales. I know Oklahoma is in the top. I know a lot of people come here just to buy cars.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I think that aspect of it, clean energy, you know, cars being here, is going to be way better for us. But like you said, what are we going to have to, what's the negative side to that? Like, what are we going to have to take, you know? Yeah. It's like, oh, you want a steak? Well, first you've got to eat shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know, I'll just have some Frito pie. I'm cool on the shit and the steak. But I hope that it's something that, you know, if it does happen, I hope that it works out in favor of the people of Oklahoma. But very rarely does that happen when big businesses come in.
Yeah. Amazon going to New York for a prime example.
Yeah.
AOC did a great job, and she got a lot of shit for it.
Yeah. And they helped get a lot of employees money, and then what did they do? Cut 30% of their staff.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah. Oh no, we're gonna give everyone $1,900 extra a month. Yeah, and then we're gonna fire everyone with no benefits.
Yeah.
Enjoy that.
Yeah, Amazon has been terrible with this crisis, treating their workers.
Are we segueing?
Yeah, we are segueing,
okay,
actually.
Bam.
That was seamless. So, some articles are coming out about old Jeff Bezos. He might be potentially become the first trillionaire ever, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. It's easy to become a trillionaire when you don't pay any taxes. You just keep saving all your money, saving all your money.
And when you have no competitors because you completely strangle everyone else.
Right. Even the United States Postal Service is like, after this whole coronavirus, they're scrambling to get money.
Yeah.
But Amazon's like, we're not paying taxes, and we're going to get money.
Yeah.
You know? It's crazy, man.
Amazon uses the Postal Service sometimes as well. So
Yeah. All I see now is Prime trucks everywhere.
Oh my God, there's a Prime
Stations.
station that's down the street from
They
where I live.
They turned a section of Whole Foods. Both of the Whole Foods that we have here in Tulsa is an Amazon Prime station.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so they just go there to pick up the packages and deliver them.
Yeah,
And they deliver on Sunday.
yeah,
They don't give a
yeah, they don't. And the problem with Amazon, with comparable to the Postal Service, costs nothing to go with the Postal Service.
Right.
With Amazon, you're getting charged with that.
Yeah.
So he potentially, if his wealth keeps on building at this pace, he will be the first trillionaire. Now, inflation and everything else, he might not be the first trillionaire in history. Who knows?
Yeah.
But recorded, whatever.
Like a living
Yeah.
trillionaire.
Yeah. So I have problems with that. So I'm not a socialist. I'm not a Marxist. I'm not a communist. I am a Democratic socialist, I guess. I'm actually a little more right than Bernie Sanders is. But I cannot stand monopoly capitalism and crony capitalism. Mm-hmm. And that is what Amazon is to a fucking T.
Yep.
Because they just Walmart on steroids.
Right.
They how Walmart destroyed small businesses in the 80s and especially the 90s. They would go into fuck nowhere, Oklahoma, build a Walmart, and they would cut their prices in half.
Right.
And Pop and Job's store down the street, well, they can't compete with that because they're small margins. So
Yeah, and they're buying everything from here,
Yeah.
not from overseas.
yeah, so Walmart would strangle those businesses and they go out of business. And if you're Walmart, one store in nowhere, not making money right now, who gives a shit? Because eventually you will.
Right.
Because you're just trying to destroy all those small businesses in the area and just go to one thing, which is not what this country is built on. It's built on competition and not monopolies. That's like the founding fathers completely didn't want that. So,
Right.
and we just allow it because of the convenience and
It's hard to compete, too.
and the prices. I mean, I try not to shop with Amazon, but I don't have a lot of money, and they're cheaper and
Yeah.
quicker and more convenient. So
I
it's
get
kind
Prime for free through Sprint, so
yeah, that
we
too.
get free delivery for pretty much anything we order.
So I mean, Jeff Bezos, in the sense of being a businessman, he's a genius.
Right.
He's not a good person.
But yeah, not paying back like his fair share of taxes, man. It's
Yeah, and that's
like you're gonna get $1 trillion because you're not paying taxes. You know what I mean? As soon as he hits that trillion, they should hit him with the tax.
I don't know if we even should have trillionaires. This is coming from a capitalist. Like,
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
I mean, I would understand it, but it's the path that you take to become a trillionaire.
Yeah,
You start your own business, you do everything right, you treat your people good, and you end up down the line making $1 trillion. Hey, cool, more power to you. But if you make $1 trillion not paying taxes, treating your employees like shit,
yeah,
you see what I'm saying? You got to take all that into effect. Of like, yeah, you're not a good. Now you got to say, is it possible to be a good trillionaire? It's possible, but is it probable? No. Like, money pretty much corrupts. And once you've already gotten to the point where, okay, I don't have to pay taxes, I don't have to do any of this, what's going to stop you? Mm-hmm. Who's going to stop you? You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, if Bezos was smart, I would just give a couple $1 billion to Trump and, hey, keep this lockdown going. Keep on giving people money.
Yeah.
they're just
Everyone's
gonna buy
ordering
from it.
Amazon like crazy right now.
Yeah. And I saw a Twitter tweet from Twitter, and someone was being an extreme bootlicker, saying about the criticizing Eat the Rich Twitter, which is part of Twitter. about how they criticize Bezos becoming a trillionaire, but they still shop with them. Which, I mean, okay, I get it to a degree. But, like we just said, there's really no other competition. Like,
right.
And
monopolized it.
It is. They have monopolized it. And especially these times, money's not cheap, people.
No.
Like, yeah, you got that $1,200. Not everyone just bought stupid shit on Amazon.
Right.
A lot of people
paid
their
one or
rent.
two bills,
Yeah,
and that was gone.
Yeah. So, and just I want to go to more of the overlying effect of that is this myth of the American dream. It is a myth in my eyes now. It used to be kind of a real thing, but now it's just completely nonsense in my eyes. About how you can be a millionaire, you can be a billionaire one day. Yeah, maybe, but probably not.
Yeah.
Like the one of 356 million people, 65 million, I mean.
Yeah.
In this country is the richest person. Like, how many billionaires there even are in this world?
And most of this wealth is just passed down.
Yeah.
It's not earned.
And well, then they'll say, well, Bezos was one, he's an extremely smart person. Two, he came from a wealthy family.
Right.
Bill Gates is the same. Steve Jobs is the same. Like, we're not living in the reality, people. All these people went to Harvard. Like, they're like geniuses.
Right.
And like, they're smarter than Harvard. They didn't even need to go to Harvard, really. It's like this Billy Joe from nowhere. Like, dude, if you don't have any skills and you don't have any money, like, you're not going to be a millionaire probably. But that's the thing about one of the missions I want to have now is, okay, so you're probably not going to get that much wealth. That's fine. But you should have a job that, one, pays you well enough that you can survive. Two, you are proud of that job.
Yeah.
And we don't have that anymore because we have this false sense of goals in my eyes that everyone's going to achieve in life and everything. This is not reality, unfortunately.
Right.
That's not how capitalism works.
Yeah.
You got very few that achieve and everyone else doesn't. Mm-hmm. And a society I don't want to live in is that we're kind of living now, and I think we're heading down even more, is the wealthy just keep on hoarding, and taking everything from everyone else. And you people are just sitting back and like, whoa, what the fuck happened to my life? Like, I thought I was going to do everything, and I thought I was told that if I worked hard enough and everything,
I thought I could will all this into existence.
I could work hard enough and I could achieve. Like, this is, unfortunately, that's not the real world.
Yeah.
Now we can change that, and we can become more of a just society, and more likely you're someone from the hood could actually achieve things in life.
Right.
If we put money into certain communities or just any community, honestly, and give people better opportunities, give free college, give a livable wage. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't even have to be $15 an hour. I don't even really agree with that. It needs to be more than it is now, though.
Yeah.
And we're in this vicious cycle of people thinking that if I just work hard enough,
Yeah.
I'm going to make, like, no, man.
Generations have died thinking that.
Exactly. And the American dream, in my eyes, is having a good job and being proud of that job is what I want to have in this society.
Yeah.
Not, well, my life sucks and everything sucks in my life because I didn't become a millionaire and I didn't buy a yacht and I didn't marry a supermodel or whatever.
Right. You're aiming way too high.
And it's just not realistic, people.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I don't like saying this, but it's the fucking truth.
Yeah.
Like, very few people have, one, the talent to make it, or two, have the resources to make it, or three, have the money to make it. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a good life, and I'm doing my hardest with this show and just everything to make sure that the poor don't get completely fucked into society.
Right.
But it's just foolhardy. And you bootlicking on Twitter and criticizing people and thinking that if you're standing for millionaires and billionaires, it's going to make you rich, you're out of your fucking mind.
No. Nobody's ever made $1 million by kissing a millionaire's asshole.
You're just you're just giving them free advertising, and thank you, idiot.
Yeah. You're a cheerleader for something you'll never be. I don't understand it. It's beyond me, man. But
and you're a cheerleader, people don't give a flying fuck about you.
No, they don't. As long as you keep speaking their praises, hey, they're fine. Yeah, whatever. They don't care. They're not going to help you, but you're helping them by cheering them on.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is just fucking stupid.
Right.
And, I mean, and on the left, we need to accept certain things right now. We're not a socialist society. We're a capitalist. Now, can we change that and make it more of a socialist thing? Okay. Yeah. I don't fully agree with everything about that, but all right. We're not there yet, though.
Yeah.
We need to work in, I'm not saying be a centrist and everything, but we need to start accepting certain realities and not whining about it, because that doesn't do it.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Yeah.
And if you think your idea is the best, and you think our society being a Marxist society or a communist, I don't even see how that's even. I can't even think of how that anyone could think of our communists being the best society. But anyway, then you need to win that idea battle.
Right.
But that's going to take a really long time, because
the individuality too, that it plays a part in it, because everybody's got their own idea and what they hear and they think is. I mean, like when it comes to like socialism, like I'm gonna say I'm in favor of socialist programs, like democratic socialist programs. As far as, you know, the government telling you where and what to do, no, not that kind of socialism. That's more communism, you know. And I think that's where the line kind of gets blurred, you know, where people don't really understand. You know, maybe it needs a whole new title, you know, for what it's called. But like, there's things as far as human rights that we should have. Like, we've got a right, if our house gets set on fire, we got the fire department to put it out. Yeah. So I think if we get sick and we're dying, we should be able to go see a doctor. So see, things like that's more where I fall on the socialist thing. I don't go too far past those ideas, you know. But I think that we have to keep pushing for these ideas. You know, maybe not all at once. Maybe we start small, and I realize that you do have to be able to work with people to get stuff voted, but just not doing anything is not acceptable. And I think that if we sit down and we think realistically about how we can get some of this stuff done, I think we can actually do it. I feel like if we do it here, it's going to prove a huge point, because it would be so difficult here, you know, because it's such a red state. But I know that when you ask people about these certain ideas without putting socialist or Democrat on it, and you ask Republicans about these things, they're for it. It's all in how it's worded towards them, which means if it was something that came up as a vote, they would probably vote for it. You know what I mean?
And our electorate is so divided, because Pac and I were talking about this when we were coming here, and how we essentially just have one party.
Yeah.
And the Republicans are more extremist, and Democrats are a little more standoffish on economic things. Mm-hmm. Republicans don't think we should have any taxes, barely, and
no taxes at all. I don't think we should have any taxes at all. I've heard this several times.
No regulation, everything else. Mm-hmm. And Democrats, you know, just want to be Republicans, just don't want to be called Republicans, essentially. So they're
right. They want to be Republicans that aren't racist.
Yeah. So getting on that is we just essentially fight over culture issues. And I think it's sad and ridiculous we're still fighting over, hey, racist is not okay. Like, being racist is not an okay thing. And unfortunately, we're still battling that, or hating gay people, or everything else that comes with those things.
Yeah.
Like, we're just, like, really.
I'll never understand how you can't just love everyone and live your own life. No matter what you believe or what, you might not want to partake. You might not want to go to a gay wedding. Mm-hmm. But does that mean you have to protest it and stand outside and be hateful? No. You can still live your life and not like things, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. But when you start fighting against those things, then you start showing your bigotry, your racism, your bias, and all that shit. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Having a 7-year-old black son has changed the whole way I have looked at how this world is and where it's going. And I got to look at it for him, and just to see all this stuff going on, it just hurts my heart, man, because I feel like I want to think that we've come a long way, but then I realize we're still got a long way to go, and I just, I don't know, man. I don't see, I try to stay optimistic, but I don't see too many things happening without substantial change. Mm-hmm. Like, you're not going to change someone who's inherently racist, been passed down from their great grandfather didn't like black people, now their dad don't like black people, now they don't like black people. It's a thing that you can't change. You know what I mean? You can try, and hopefully if the people actually do have a good heart, maybe you can change the way they look at things. But I think that some people are just stuck in their ways, man. They're in their bubble, and you can't let anything come in their bubble that's negative or that interrupts anything that they think of the truth. Like, I think this is one thing, and I'm not going to let you tell me anything that's going to deter me away from my truth. You see what I'm saying? I think that's a big problem. I know I went off the rector there a little bit, but
it's called confirmation bias.
Yeah.
That a lot of, not just Republicans, a lot of people have, especially Republicans though.
Yeah.
Which confirmation bias means that you find information that verifies your beliefs, even if that information is not true, which usually is anecdotal evidence of something that's a fact, but you find some information that counteracts that fact. Case in point, 97-ish% of climate scientists think climate change is real and we're affecting it. You got that 3% that said it's not. Mm-hmm. And then, especially this Republican side, gravel onto that 3%. One, they don't even think it's 3%. They think it's like 40%. Two, they don't realize that 3%, probably about 2%, are paid to think that. And they're paid to have those false opinions by big oil companies. And that 1% are just idiots, honestly.
Yeah. It's funny how 3% of scientists who don't believe in climate change can affect 40% of the voting population. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It only takes that little bitty percent for them to put all of their stuff behind that 3% and control 40% of their minds on that subject. Mm-hmm. It's crazy to me. It's like sometimes I just want to just bump into somebody and be like, hey, that's a car, right? Okay, just making sure we're in the same reality, because I don't know, man. They've distanced themselves so far from reality. Like when it gets harmful to people, then I have a problem with it. Mm-hmm. You want to be cuckoo crazy and stay in your clock all day, that's fine. But you come out and you start messing with people, and then it's like, nope, we got to put the cuckoo back in the clock. You know what I mean? It's so frustrating, because some of these people, like, I'm not going to condone violence, but I swear to God, some of these people, I just want to grab and shake the shit out of them and then point truth at them and be like, this is the truth. You're crazy, okay? Yeah. If you think that this is, they follow this whole narrative, man. And like you said, they go on Google and they look up things that in their search is already verifying their bias or their truth. truth, you know? Mm-hmm. And so it's so slanted. It's like, no, I looked it up. And I'm right. What did you look up? Well, I looked up, was I right? And it said I was. You can't talk to these people, man. It's a headache, man.
It is a headache, and some of these people just have this. It's called where is it? It's called a Dunning-Kruger effect. Essentially, it is people that kind of dumb think they're the smartest person, and they're not.
Right.
They're usually the stupidest people.
Right. But they think they're so intelligent.
Yeah.
And they think everyone else is dumb who's just, relying on facts and truth and evidence. I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works.
So let me give the actual... So Dunning-Kruger effect is a type of cognitive bias in which people believe that they are smarter and more capable than they really are. Combination of poor self-awareness and low cognitive ability leads to them overstating their own abilities. Case in point, President Donald Trump.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I think he's the smartest person on the fucking planet.
I'm so smart.
And he's an idiot when it comes to a lot of things. Now, I think he's smart in certain things.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a complete moron in a lot of
But you know what? It's nothing worse than a smart, dumb motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even worse than that is a smart, dumb that doesn't know that he's stupid when it comes to certain things.
Right.
It's about being humble. I can't stand that.
And then everyone gets behind it. Like, you get behind stupidity. You get behind idiocracy. You get behind racism by, bigotry. And then you wonder why people look at you like, I think you're racist. Because you're supporting racist. You know what I mean? It's just, you are who you support, man. If I just got on TV today and said, you know what, I'm standing behind R. Kelly. You know what everyone's gonna think? I like pissing on people, okay? Because you don't support something unless you really support it. And he sparked this, and I peeked there, but whatever. He sparked this whole movement of these people who are sitting in their houses. I don't know why they're feeling disenfranchised. They have no reason to. They're not. But they have this whole fake narrative in their head like, the government's trying to control me, and I can't speak my mind and be racist in public, and I hate that. And so he sparked that mind in those people where they're like, okay, now it's okay. It's okay for me to be like that because he's like that. If the president says it's okay, it's okay.
And like people on the right, more than anything, when it comes to the Rona, thinking they're so oppressed that they can't go to Applebee's or can't get a haircut.
Right.
Or whatever else.
Whatever it is. I have to wear a mask. I have to wear a mask in the store. Well, if you're going to come in. I mean, this is the thing. It's my business.
Yeah.
So you don't have to. I'm not forcing you to come in and spend money.
Yeah. You can go somewhere else.
You can go wherever you want. Yeah. But if you're here, we can assist you. It's...
And I just don't get it. Don't be a douche. Just wear a mask, people.
Or go somewhere else.
Yeah.
If it's that big a deal where you're gonna flip out about it, and I'm gonna sue you for.
Oh, you're talking about that Karen that was losing her shit.
Oh my God! And they're trying to be so nice to her, and I'm like, you know what, y'all, they way nicer than I would have been. I'm like, you gonna take my credit card? No, we're not gonna take any of your shit. Why don't you take your non-mask wearing ass and go then? Nobody's asked me, like, I've gone in shops and nobody has been like, you have to wear a mask because we're in Oklahoma. They're not going to do that here. Mm-hmm. But this is the thing, man. If it's a place of business and it's just like you coming in and you're not wearing shoes. If that business says you got to wear shoes and you're not wearing shoes, you can't come in. Don't be mad at that business. Go put some shoes on your feet if you want to come shopping here.
Yeah.
But in the midst of like a pandemic, you really see all this ignorance really come out of people where they're like, you know what? They're making people wear masks. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my phone up there and I'm going to show the world that they're trying to make me wear a mask in their store. Bravo. Now you've shown how stupid you are. And then the people who are stupid like you can back you up.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. Mm-hmm. I don't back up stupidity. And I've got a lot of stupid friends. I don't back up stupidity. But if it's something that's helping other people and it's so you don't hurt other people, then if you don't do it, you're just being selfish. There's no other way around it. Mm-hmm. You can say, oh, they're controlling me. You can go home and sit on your couch and not have to come to this store at all. You can go to any of these other stores. You know, you got options. You just want to whine about it. And they say the left is the only ones whining. Right.
Exactly. And the least impressed people are finally a little bit impressed, then they're losing their...
Yeah, that's it.
And they're really not even that impressed.
No, not here especially.
Yeah.
People here are flipping out. Like, are you crazy? They're not making you do half of the shit that they're doing in Cali.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're complaining? Oh, well, I'm not going to wear a mask. They can't make me wear a mask. Nobody's going to make you wear a mask. Go home.
Yeah. And like, and some lunatics like shooting people and threatening to shoot people. Like, what the man?
Yeah.
Like, these people are just trying to do their jobs. Like, what is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
And that's just like the whole brother's keeper ideology I kind of have now is you need to care about your fellow man. And little inconvenience that you don't really like, might not even necessarily agree with. But so I heard a story about this woman in line. She was at a supermarket and this guy was in line paying, and this old woman told the dude that, can you put your mask on? Said guy loses his fucking shit. The old little woman for not putting on a mask.
Right.
And I'm like, are you serious, man? Like,
yeah, be mean to my grandma.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with, like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, we can have a discussion about a lot of this was necessary or not necessary. I'm not a doctor, so I can't really comment. And a lot of people are commenting and they don't know what we're really talking about when it comes to this medical issue. So, but we can have that debate. That's fine. But don't be a fucking douche, man. Masks are uncomfortable. Like, if I'm in my car, I don't wear a mask. If I'm not going to be around said people, I don't wear a mask.
Right.
If I'm going in somewhere, I'm wearing a mask. Yeah. And unfortunately, here, I'm pretty much one of the only ones.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating.
Yeah, I can't say, I'm not going to lie and say I wore a mask every time I've gone into a store. But when I've gone into one where there's a lot of people, or if I got the kids, we're masked up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If somebody asked me to wear my mask to come in the store, I had no problem doing that. Yeah. Just like I have no problem with coming in wearing the shirt or shoes or anything else that is an article of clothing. It's not like they're saying, hey, if you're going to come in this grocery store, you got to make sure your hands are tied. It's not like there's anything that they're making you do that's going to stop you from shopping. Yeah. You just want something to complain. I think a lot of people just want to have their own little war. They're not going to do anything with their lives. This is it. All they can do is complain anyway. So if all I get out of my life is a YouTube video of me telling someone I'm not going to wear a mask, you can't make me wear a mask, then I feel like that's my battle and I won it. And you know, it's just ridiculous, man. And I mean, grocery store is the number one place for it too, you know.
Yeah. And it's ridiculous, man. And I'm just so frustrated by everything. That's one big reason why this has been a rough week for me. Is this, when you try to be an optimist and you think that things are gonna get better, but you're given so much evidence it's not gonna get better.
Right.
Which I wanted to segue to Elysium, and I fear that not necessarily maybe that future, but something similar to that future is going to happen here.
Yeah.
and this planet's not going to be habitable. All the well-off are going to be able to move to Mars or wherever else.
Right.
And we're just going to be on this planet, killing each other and dying.
Yeah.
It's not habitable anymore.
And they're leaving the planet in a horrible condition.
Yeah.
For us. Like, you know.
And you have this fucking bootlickers of this worship fucking rich people. And you're just you're just adding to that fucking issue, that future.
Yeah.
Bootlicking and not holding rich people accountable for their actions.
Right.
I mean, and again, like, maybe you become that uber elite person that be able to live on Mars or wherever else. Probably not, though.
Right.
So, you're 30 years of bootlicking rich people. They ain't give you fucking. You still
they didn't let you in the club.
Right?
You're still out here with us. Congratulations.
You fucking jackasses.
You've alienated yourself from the only people who are here with you.
Yeah. Which I wanted to talk about is a lot of people are frustrated because people are making a lot of unemployment while essential workers are working and risking their lives and making. That's one of the main tricks of the fucking elite. They pit us against each other.
Right.
And you shouldn't be fucking mad at said unemployment person because that's a fucking job, you jackass.
Yeah. As long as we're fighting each other.
Right? You need to be fucking mad at the people that have power.
Yeah.
That
up top.
That could have give you a better wage with your said company, or the government could force said company to get you a better wage. But yeah, that's the fucking thing. That's one of the big tricks the fucking elite do is, hey, that person's making more money than you because he's unemployment. Be angry at him. Don't be angry at me.
Yeah. Don't be angry at me with all my money and all the taxes I don't pay and make money off your backs. Yeah. Fight amongst yourselves.
Yeah. And back to the one-party system we pretty much have is this: we fight over social issues. And we never talk about what one of the biggest ailments of this country is, how the wealth is just so put towards the top, and everyone else just has this fucking crumbs kicked down from the uber wealthy. And just, I mean, we can do things about it to change that fucking reality and that future, but do you want to make sacrifices, and do you want to impact your communities and care about your communities to have a better society in the future? Or do you just want to fucking bootlick for 30 years and our fucking society becomes Elysium with fucking robots beating the shit out of everyone and taking our jobs, and we live in a fucking hellhole?
Yep.
While wealthy motherfuckers live on Mars or some other planet we don't even know what the fuck it even is in 30 years. Yeah.
That's what upsets me so much about him. I'm like, why are you fighting with us? Like, you're so blind that you can't see that all of this is coming from the people that's standing over you, not the people that's underneath you or level with you, you know? It's like I said, it goes back to just they have their own reality. And it has absolutely nothing to do with what's real, which is crazy.
Yeah. Back to the doing your part is in society. There's a thing called the shopping cart theory. So
here we go.
So shopping cart theory is essentially, people either put their shopping cart where it's supposed to go in a little, what are those called? Little bays, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what they're actually called. It's not a caravan. It's like I don't know.
What's this called?
Station.
A loading bay, whatever the it's actually called. So everyone knows what the we're talking about. Either you have you have the choice to walk your ass to the thing and put a little bay, or just leave it where
or take it back in,
or that. I don't do that, but I do the put them in the bay.
Yeah.
So essentially, it's like a determiner if you're a good person or not, which I don't fully agree with. But the overlining thesis in my eyes is, do you care enough about your fellow man to make a little bitty sacrifice? Which is about what we're just talking about wearing masks and social distancing and not going out unless you really need to, and the pros and cons of those things. And now I'm not saying that if you don't don't take your ass to a shopping cart and put it in a bay, it makes you a terrible person. That's ridiculous. but the overlining impact of making little small decisions like that maybe be a determinant if you want to make bigger decisions.
Yeah.
So
I could see that. I could see it, but I got to be honest with you. I don't put the shopping cart back every time, and I'm not. And I'll tell you why I'm not going to. If I park up front, okay, if the door is closer than the shopping thing, I'll take it in. I'll run it inside. But most of the time, I'm in a hurry, and I go to this neighborhood Walmart, especially the one in Jinx, and what they have done is they took all of their stations, whatever those bays are out in the parking lot for your shopping cart, and the ones that are up front, they moved them. So they're halfway through the parking lot. And I mean, this was probably like last year. I got to give an example. So last year, I'm with my mother, and we're at neighborhood Walmart. And she's in a hurry. She's got to go to work, and she's giving me around the grocery store. We both did our shopping. She gets her cart, and she puts it right to the side of the car. And so I put mine right next to it, And this guy gets out and he goes, it's just right there. And I said, what the fuck did you say to me? And I got to be honest, because I'm like, if me leaving this basket here is going to fuck up your whole day, then you take the basket and you put it back. You know what I mean? And that's just how I felt. Now I've done this several times. I haven't put my basket back. Okay. So give me shit in the comments if you want to. I'm fine with it. I can handle it. But here's the thing. It doesn't make me a bad person. I'm still a good person. I'm a good person who makes bad decisions. Yeah. And that's okay, because I'm human. So if I'm being asked to wear a mask to come in a shop, I'm going to do it. Yeah. But if I'm being told to put a basket somewhere, I'm not going to do it just because you're telling me. That's just me. That's just my own ignorance. You know what I mean? But I don't think it makes you a bad person. Now, if you're the person who says, I will never put a basket there. Okay. Now we're talking. Now you've gone out of your way to be an asshole. Yeah. So then I could start understanding it. But the whole theory to me is like, it's busted because I know I've done it and I don't think I'm a bad person. Yeah. I don't think I'm a bad person when I did it either, because I felt like y'all keep moving these things away from me. Y'all want me to go to the other end of the parking lot to put my basket up. No, I'm going to put it right here on this little grass, spot. And you know what? The people that you pay to come get these carts can come get these carts. Yeah. Now, I'm not thinking like, oh, am I going to make it harder on them? I just don't think about it like that, man. I don't think it makes me a bad person for doing it. However many times I've done it in my life, I couldn't even tell you. Recently, I could tell you in the last 10 years, I've probably done it twice. Yeah. You know what I mean? And both times I was in a hurry. Yeah. And both times it was because they moved the basket thing far away. So I'm parked up close. Now you want me to walk 15 car spaces to put my basket up, or walk 5 car spaces to put it back in the store. I tell you what, I'm going to leave it here and you guys figure it out. Yeah. But that's just me, But I don't think that makes me a bad person. No, I just want to speak up on that and be honest.
Doesn't necessarily make you a bad person. Fucking bad people even putting their stupid card in whatever thing that's called anyway. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily make you a bad person, but the overlining thing I wanted to just tie into wear a mask and don't be a douche. Right. Yeah. And see, making little sacrifices that for the betterment of.
With the mask thing, I look at it more like this is more of a public safety thing. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I feel like if I don't wear my mask, or if I don't practice social distancing, I'm chancing hurting someone else or hurting myself You know what I'm saying? So then I feel like, okay, with the shopping cart, I really don't feel like I'm hurting anybody by leaving my basket there, but that's just me, you know? So to me, it's just kind of like I understand where they're going from, where they're coming from. I just don't think one thing has something to do with the other. I think somebody could put their basket perfectly where they're supposed to and then go in the store and complain about having to wear a mask.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But, you know, I see the comparison as far as making it easier on other people if you can. Mm-hmm. That's a rare thing, man. A lot of people don't go out of their way to make something easier for the next man, you know? I wish it wasn't that way, but...
And we need to start trying to do things in society as a whole to make life easier on everyone else.
Yeah.
Making little sacrifices like not making as much money, not buying that stupid yacht you don't really need, or other things like that. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got to say about that. Our last topic's going to be about Charles Booker running for Senate against old Turtle Man, Mitch McConnell.
Mitch McConnell.
And I don't know how to say his name, but he is running against Nancy Pelosi in the House. And those are the two most important elections outside of the general in my eyes.
Yeah.
I could argue even more important than the general. But so as the left, we need to focus on those two candidates. Mm-hmm. Now you can focus on the other candidates you like as well. That's fine. But we need to realize that the left is losing right now. Kind of getting our ass kicked.
Yeah.
And everything. We're not getting what we need to do for our fellow man when it comes to passing bills, and Nancy Pelosi and Turtle Man are just pretty much doing whatever they want for their overlords.
Right.
And unfortunately, currently, we don't have two things. We don't have enough people on the progressive left to make enough fuss of changing those things. And two, unfortunately, which kind of piggybacks on one, is so few of them that they can't really do anything to fight against those shitty bills. And unfortunately, we don't have media that's big enough on the left that can help withstand the absolute hell that said people would got if they held up certain bills. Mm-hmm. Because if, let's say, Bernie Sanders or whoever else on the left would have held up that first bill, that first stimulus, because that sucked. Mm-hmm. Every establishment and on both sides would have given them all types of hell, and the establishment media would have given them all types of hell. And unfortunately, this election, case in point, it shows us that the left, media-wise, doesn't have big enough reach.
Right.
So,
and it's because what they consider to be the left media is not. It's establishment. It's,
like they say that MSNBC is the left.
Please. No. Only people believe that are old Democrats, like 50 plus, and people that are establishment Democrats.
Or Republicans.
Yeah. Well, diet Republicans.
Yeah.
They say Republican light. I like diet Republicans.
Yeah. And like they say that the CNN's a communist network. I'm like, what the fuck on?
Yeah.
Like that's one of the things that like our school system's completely failed us. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, most people don't even know what the fuck communism even is. So that's just fucking stupid. But anyway, back to the media. We just gotta work towards becoming more of a bigger impact.
Yeah.
You got your Young Turks, you got your Ben Dixon, Kyle Kulinski.
Independent media.
Yeah, independent media in just general. This show, That's one of the goals. We could get it big enough that we can make an impact.
I think we can turn a lot of people to independent media. I think that a lot of them don't know that it exists so much because when they're on YouTube, they're like, "Hey, look at these little cat videos," and
Yeah, and unfortunately, this election has told us a lot about how young people still don't vote to the point they need to.
Right.
And young people don't get their news from CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, especially Fox News.
Yeah.
Average age watching Fox News is like 70, and CNN and MSNBC is not much better.
Yeah.
So I don't watch Fox News. Well, actually, I do a little bit. And I really don't watch CNN or MSNBC. I hate them
I watch clips just to see the bias.
Yeah.
And just to see how they're going to spin stuff, Just let me see how they're going to spin this story today,
Yeah. So we got to have a bit bigger media presence.
Yeah.
And I know certain people on the left have problems with TYT.
Yeah.
And other people on the left media.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But we need to, like what I was saying before, we need to realize certain realities is might not think Young Turks is the best. I actually like Young Turks for the most part.
Yeah.
But other people have other issues.
Yeah.
But we need to have this saying is, we got to accept things how they are, not how we like them to be.
Right.
Now, you can change our society to how you like them to be, but you got to accept what we are right now.
Right.
And you whining and just not watching certain things and everything else is not going to do fucking anything.
Yeah.
And we got to accept those certain facts. And that piggybacks off of Booker that's running for Senate in Kentucky. Like, he might not be as left as certain people like their candidate be, but you got to realize that unfortunately in certain areas you can't be uber left like you would want to be. It's just not reality.
Right.
Unfortunately.
But when you look at how right Mitch McConnell is, how far to the right Mitch McConnell is, then he really looks further to the left than you'd think,
And this is the other thing about it is a lot of people in this country don't realize that Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, they're not really that left. If you want to go back from American history, or you want to go current from European politics, these people are essentially Republicans.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't realize that because this last 40 years, we've shifted so much to the right because of Reagan and because of Barry Goldwater. He doesn't get enough credit for that. Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan is the last 100 years have probably some of the biggest impacts on our politics. And so essentially we've been fighting off of Reaganomics for the last 40 years.
Yeah.
And we're starting, because of Bernie Sanders and other leftists, we're starting to get back to what we were in the earlier days of FDR and Jack Kennedy and Eisenhower, even though he was a Republican.
Yeah.
Like Barack Obama said in an interview, I don't know when, but he said in the 80s, I'll essentially be a Republican, moderate Republican, which is probably true.
Yeah.
And the thing about establishment Democrats, they're extremely left on social issues, but they're fairly right on economic issues. And the right's is extremists on both sides.
Yeah, on everything.
So, and you people would think Pac and I are like extremely left, but probably not really.
Yeah, you'd probably be surprised.
Yeah, we're not really that left if comparable to other people.
Right.
Comparable to Europe, Bernie Sanders is a moderate in Europe.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders is fairly moderate given American history.
Right.
Like Eisenhower was a Republican, but he wanted like Medicare for all essentially.
Right.
But he didn't do it because he was called a communist.
Right. Well, if they paint that picture where he looks like it's so extremely left, and so once that picture's painted, and they have it in their minds, Bernie Sanders is a communist. There's nothing you can say to get that out of their head. You see what I'm saying? Not facts, not truth. You can't point out any of this stuff.
And the big issue is they don't even know what communism, Marxism, Leninism even is. They just say, that's bad. That didn't work. Like,
it's bad.
So can you tell me what communism is? And what's the difference between communism and Marxism and Leninism?
Yeah. And fascism?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You don't want a democratic socialist president, but you're okay with a fascist one.
And you could argue our greatest president we've ever had with FDR was a democratic socialist.
Yeah. And we've had a lot of great men in our history that were democratic socialists.
Martin Luther King.
Killed. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So there's definitely a awareness, social awareness that we didn't have before as much, where like we've got this young generation, like you said, that don't watch Fox News and don't watch mainstream media. So they watch an independent media, so they're getting the straight truth, and it makes it easier for them to make their decisions about things, about social issues and about economic issues, where back then it's so skewed, and still now mainstream media is skewed. Yeah. They play into their narrative, so it makes it really difficult for people who have grown up with that narrative in their head for that to change. You know what I mean? And that's why you're stuck with this climate where it's like fake news. Like, you're saying fake news, but you watch fake news. You're watching Fox, okay? Which is propaganda media. I'll take that argument with anybody. It's propaganda. Simple and plain. Not that the other ones aren't, but Fox News is the biggest propaganda on the right. Okay, and so you take those big corporations, those big companies, and they control the whole climate of the voters.
Yeah,
and that's because they do have stuff to lose. They have donors and sponsors and all of that shit. And if they lose those, they lose money.
They lose their own money as well.
Right.
A lot of these motherfuckers are millionaires.
Right.
Even multi-millionaires. So, and that's the thing, man. We gotta become more educated in our society. Right. We gotta start reading more.
Right. Do more of these podcasts and independent media. This is where it's at. You might not agree with everything that we say, but you got to know that we're being honest and that we're speaking the truth about what we do know. Mm-hmm. And you got to at least respect that. I mean, it's better than us getting on here and selling you a lie and sugarcoating it and then telling you that this is what it's going to be. Like, you might not like what we got to say, but what we're saying is true. So if you don't like what we're saying, you don't like truth, then that's an issue you have to work out with yourself.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we're up for a debate as well. That's fine.
Oh, I welcome it.
He welcomes a little more than I do.
I am aggressive when it comes to debating.
He has a bit more patience when it comes to that. I kind of have a lot less patience. Because
I think I'm just like ample. I'm like, yeah. Oh, you want to debate me? Oh, you want to talk about Medicare for all? Let's fucking go.
So I just, unfortunately, I just don't have as much patience. And it just infuriates me. So I try not to debate as much as I think Pac would like to.
That's all right, though. Once all this starts dying down, I'm going to take a microphone. I'm going to get out here and I'm going to talk to these voters. And we're going to get some real conversations going with some real people.
Which we're going to be doing when the kind of Rona kind of comes down.
I don't care. I'll walk up on people with a mask and gloves on and holding a microphone.
Yeah. But that's essentially all we got to say on this episode. You want to get anything right before we wrap it up, Pac?
Yeah, I want to tell everybody, if you're listening, thank you for checking us out. Subscribe, like, share this with people. Help us get. We're on a road to getting 1,000 subscribers. So please help us get there. Support independent media. Comment. Let us know what you feel. Even if it's hatred, we'll still read it. I'm fine with it. And we're gonna try to keep pumping these out for you guys. So please keep supporting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.